Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create this beautiful 3D ornament. And with the holidays right around the corner, this makes the perfect gift idea. So if you're interested in learning how to make this, please stay tuned. We're going to need a couple of items for this project. I'm going to be using this Canon photo paper plus glossy 2 photo paper. You can use any photo paper of choice. I also have these mini decorative bristle brush trees from Michaels. 2 different size red satin ribbon. This one is 5/8 inch and then this one is 3/8 inch. And I ended up using the 3/8 inch ribbon for this project. You're going to need your hot glue gun here. And you're going to need your ornament. This, I believe, is 3.9 inches. You're going to need your brayer. You're going to need a pair of scissors. You're going to need Epsom salt, rulers. And if you are going to be using a die cutting machine, I'm using the Cricut Maker. You can also cut your images out by hand. And if you're going to be using a cutting machine, of course, you will need the mat. I am also going to be using my Canon Pixma IP 8720 printer, so you need a printer. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start here on remove.bg, and this is the image that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using this application to remove the background because I only need the picture of the baby. If you are a Cricut Access member, you have access to their remove background feature. If you use Canva and you pay the monthly subscription for Canva, you can also use their background remover feature as well. However, remove.bg seems to work the best for me, so I'll be using this application. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select upload and I'm going to upload the picture, and then I'm going to allow remove.bg to do its thing. And voila, we have a beautiful, nice, crisp picture of the baby without the background. Then I'm going to go ahead and download this, and I'm going to save it to my downloads folder, so that I'm able to go ahead and bring this into Cricut Design Space. I'm going to open up Cricut Design Space, and now I'm going to select New Project. The very first thing that I'm going to do is get rid of the grid. I like to work with a blank canvas. It's just a personal preference. So I'm just going to select this square here on the left hand side. I'm going to click it twice, and now I have my blank canvas. Next, I'm going to upload that image that we removed in remove.bg. So now what we're going to do is resize the baby. So I am going to keep the aspect ratio locked because I'm going to adjust the height, and I want the system to automatically adjust the width so that when we resize the image, it doesn't distort. So I want my height for this baby to be 2.5 inches in height. And so I entered the height here, and then the system automatically resized the width for me. Okay, the next step that you want to do is optional. You can duplicate the baby. Okay, let's just bring this over here, and then you can select flip and flip horizontally. That way you can have a front and back image of the baby. So when you adhere it inside of your ornament, and if someone was to turn the ornament, it will be a picture in the front and then a picture in the back. That is also optional. I'm going to do that for this project today, but again, it is optional. You don't have to do that. It is also important to note the kind of pictures that is going to work for this kind of project. Any pictures that is cut off by the chest area, or half of a face, will not work for this kind of project. You are going to want to use images that have full body images, including shoes, or images like this where it's cut off just a tad bit, but we have the majority of the baby's body and the face, and we have a nice clean image. Okay, that is very important. So now from here, I'm going to go ahead and select Make It. If you are going to be making a lot of these, please maximize your paper. Right now, this is just for demonstration purposes, so I am going to be losing out on some paper, but I can reuse what I don't use. So that's a good thing. I'm going to go ahead and select Continue. Then I'm going to send my job to print. Once it's finished printing, we can set our base material. I'm going to choose the light cardstock option because the Canon paper cuts really well with this setting. And then for pressure, I am going to change it to more. Default will work, but I'm going to choose more. And then now I'm going to place my printed images onto the mat and then let the Cricut cut it out. Okay, so now it's time to gather all of our supplies. By this time, you want to go ahead and plug in your heat gun. So that's what I'm going to do. And start to heat that up, okay? I'm going to be using the smaller ribbon, the 3/8 inch ribbon. And I know that I want it to hang about 5 inches, okay? So what I'm going to do is I am going to, let's move this out the way real quick. I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to measure this 10 inches because when we fold it in half, which we have to fold in half, our overall height will be 5 inches. So I'm going to cut at 10. Okay. So then when we fold it in half, it will be 5 inches. Okay. You can make your ribbon as long or as short as you will want it to be. So now let's bring our paper back. Let's remove the backing. Let's move our little baby out of the way. So now we have our baby. I'm just going to glue the baby together. I'm not going to use hot glue though. I'm going to use some 3-in-1 beacon glue. I forgot to mention that. Make sure you have some 3-in-1 beacon glue, or you can use your glue of choice. I prefer the beacon 3-in-1 glue. Okay, here is the beacon 3-in-1 glue that I use. I like this because it is a silicone base. It is not wet, so you really don't need any drying time. So I'm just going to glue this real quick. Beautiful lineup. And look at that quality though. Ooh, amazing. Okay. So now that's done. We're going to set that to the side, move our glue out the way. Now on to our ornament. So we're going to open it up. And don't worry if you got fingerprints on it. We can clean it with a cloth afterwards, okay? So this is going to be my front. It don't matter which side you choose to be your front. Just pick one and then commit to it. So now our hot glue gun should be hot enough. I actually got to put another stick inside there. So let me go do that. But we are going to glue our baby. This is the original way of the picture. So whichever is the front part of your picture, you want to glue it that way, okay? Now, you could have created a little tab to set your to stand your picture up, but I honestly find that just gluing the bottom of the picture will work perfectly fine. So that's what I'm going to do. I am just going to take my hot glue gun and I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue literally at the bottom of the picture, just a teeny tiny bit. Just like so. Okay, and then again, I am just going to place this right smack dab in the middle. And you want to put glue where the picture is going to stand. Okay, so you want to make sure you get some in the corners, and then you can just go in and reinforce some areas with glue as well. This is going to be covered anyway with the snow. Okay, so here we have our baby. You want to make sure that it's in the middle as well. And again, like I said, you could create a cute little tab and then just glue the tab to the back of the picture and then glue it to this part right here. But for me, this works pretty well. Okay. And now it's time to do the back. Okay. The back of the ornament. That's where our trees are going to go. Now, honestly, these trees are too tall. Okay. The smaller ones are too small. So what I find that I needed to do was trim off the base of these trees, okay? And then you're going to be left with like a little stem. You can curve that. Take this and then curve it like so to lay it flat. And then as you do that, you see that some of the bristles are going to be flat. That's okay. Just pull it out with your hands. Okay. And then that should fit nicely in the inside. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for these. I'm just going to take the bottom off. You don't actually really need these. Probably just to fold down the metal bar there. Okay. And there is bending a little bit, but that's just the nature of how this is going to work because of how tall they are. Unless we take this ball off, maybe we could take the ball off and then trim that. Let's see. Okay, so it's better. And then let's do the same thing for this one. Okay, so what I ended up doing was trimming off the top of the two trees that have the ornament balls, just so that they can fit nicely on the sides, okay? And if you want to add the little gold balls back, you'll trim them down a little bit more just so that the balls can fit nicely up there. But I'm not going to add these balls back. So now it's time to start gluing, okay? So I'm just going to take my hot glue gun and I'm literally just going to glue the bottom of the tree. Just like so. And then I am going to take my ornament and I'm going to put the tree just like this. Okay, so that is somewhat standing up. Okay, then I'm going to take the tree that's going to be in the middle. I'm going to do the same thing. Apply a little bit of hot glue. And then I'm going to put this tree directly in the front and the middle. And you want to make sure that the trees are facing the front. So like they're standing up inside of the ornament. So you're literally applying the glue and the inside of the ornament right here. Okay. And then now I'm going to do the same thing for the last one. And be careful with this hot glue gun. Hot glue is hot. Okay. A little bit of hot glue right here. And again, don't worry about being neat with it because this is going to be hidden with the fake snow. Okay. So I'm just going to just put this tree right on here, right behind. Press that down. Like so. Play around with the bristles. Okay. There we have it. Our 3 trees. Now it's time to add our Epsom salt. So this is what I had at home already. You can use Epsom salt. You can use faux snow. I tried faux snow. I didn't like the way that looked. So I'm just going to be using some Epsom salt. You can get this from the $1.25 store. And what you want to do is you want to pour the Epsom salt in the back. You want to pour a nice amount. Okay. That should be good. That might be too much, but then you want to take the front of your ornament and close it together. Like so. Shake it up. And then you have your tree. Now, I should have made the baby a little bit smaller because the middle tree is really not showing, but that's okay. I'm actually going to make the baby a little bit smaller because I'm not feeling this right now. So let me go ahead and make the baby a little bit smaller. I went ahead and I printed and cut out the baby again. I used the same photo paper and I just made the baby 1.85 inches in height. And that is because when I remeasured the tree measurements changed, of course, because we had to trim them down. And so you want to make sure, you know, you get the right tree measurements. Maybe you should do this step first. Or just have a clear idea in your mind of how large you will want your image to be. I didn't want my baby to cover the entire tree. So I'm just going to use the same ornament. As you can see, I still have the glue from the previous picture. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing. Glue the two images together and then hot glue them into the inside of the ornament. Okay, so we have our baby glued down. And I'm not worried about this extra glue here because, of course, it's going to be covered. So now I'm just going to take the back and the front. Close it up. Epsom salt to the front. And then there we have it. Now I'm going to put this over to the side. And now we're going to work on the ribbon. So I am going to be using the 3/8 inch ribbon. I've already cut out the 10-inch ribbon already. So you need 10 inches because when you fold it together, you want to have at least 5 inches of hang. Okay, so 10 inches. So when you fold it together, you get 5 inches of hang. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take about, I don't know, maybe 15 inches of ribbon for this. So I'll cut out 15 inches. And this is how we're going to make our bow. Okay, so now we're going to take our 10-inch ribbon. I'm going to trim off the fray here. And what I'm going to do is I am going to glue these two pieces together with some hot glue. So just take a little bit of hot glue and put towards the edges. And be careful because, like I said, hot glue is hot. Okay. Marry those two together like so. Press down. Trim off any frays. Okay, so we have that. Now what we're going to do is we are going to hot glue the ribbon into the inside of the ornament hook part right there. Okay. So I'm just going to take a little bit of hot glue. And then right here, I'm just going to glue it just like so. Let me see if y'all can see that. Press down firmly. And press. Okay, so that's what it's looking like. Then I'm going to take our 15-inch ribbon and I'm going to fold this in half. Get a crease. And then I am going to glue the crease part like so. And then I am going to adhere it right here to the middle of this silver hook on the ornament. Okay, and I'm going to press it flat like this. I'm also going to put a little bit of glue at the top here. And then press that down. So it looks like this. Get rid of those glue strings. So you have your hook here in the back, and then you have this in the front. Now it's time to tie a bow. Okay, y'all, so I zoomed in a little bit so I can probably show you better on how to make the bow. So of course we have the top part of the ribbon, and then we have the bottom part of the ribbon. Okay, I'm going to take the top part and I'm going to make a loop. Okay, so my loop has my thumb and my pointer finger holding it in place. I'm going to take the bottom part of the ribbon and I'm going to wrap it around my loop, which is also around my pointer finger and my thumb. You see that? There's an open spot right here, this open spot. So I'm going to take that ribbon that I just looped around, right? And I'm going to take it and I'm going to loop it, push it through that open spot right here. All right, and then I'm going to take both loops and tie. Again, it's going to be a little funky. You want to play with it. All you do essentially is tighten it though. So you tighten, you even out the tails, and you tighten. You even out the tails, and then you tighten, okay? Just like so. Now what I'm going to do is, because my bow is crooked, all right, it's a little crooked, so I'm just going to take the knot and I'm going to turn it a little bit so I can get it somewhat centered. Okay, I'm going to take the tail and wrap it on the bottom just like that. Then I am going to take my pointer and my middle finger, put them in the inside of the loops and tighten the bow and stretch the bow out. Okay, I hope you can see that. And then you just want to keep playing around with it till you get it to where you want it to, how you want it to be. And there you have it. And then there you have it. Your nice ornament. All right, friends, this concludes my video for today. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give me a thumbs up, comment, like, and subscribe. Later.